Jen Psaki, of course, is the White House press secretary, and she's been doing it, I think, the entire time Biden's been president, but she is now leaving the White House, and she's doing it for the most Jen Psaki / Democratic reason ever. Listen.
Some reporting that you were able to confirm here late this week about the future of the press secretary, Jen Psaki. It sounds like in a couple of weeks, couple of months, you'll be asking your questions to someone new. What's this reporting you can share?
So we have confirmed from a source familiar with the situation that Jen Psaki will be leaving her post here at the White House in the coming weeks, sometime this spring. She's going to be taking a job at MSNBC. I was told that there was a bidding war between CNN and MSNBC to get her on board. There are some, legal stipulations about how she has to go about her departure and contract signing in terms of, federal ethics rules. So she wants to be, have her I's dotted and T's crossed on that front. But we do know she's going to be leaving. There have been some reports from other outlets, which I don't have the details on, but Axios, for instance, reported that she's going to be taking a show on Peacock, which is their streaming service, and then would also, lend her voice to programming on the cable channel during the day as well.
The timing of the departure is not a big surprise, right? Jen's kind of talked about not being on board for the full first term, right?
Yeah, we've known, for a while that she was going to head out. I think it was, pretty much soon after she got into this job that the expectation was that she would do it for a year. She was out of government before this, after having been in government for the Obama administration. So she sort of came back to this government job and didn't plan on staying in it long term. And a year is, it's a good run for a press secretary.
So there you have it. It was originally reported by Axios. It's being confirmed here by a Fox News reporter that Jen Psaki is going to leave the White House for a cushy MSNBC hosting gig. There's other reporting that there was a bidding war between CNN and MSNBC to get Jen Psaki. A bidding war. So I don't know. How many millions of dollars is she going to get paid to now have a corporate media hosting gig? I don't know. This is on top of, by the way, Mick Mulvaney, who was in the Trump administration. He was just hired by CBS, and they invited him on the air to talk about Biden's proposal for a billionaire tax. And Mick Mulvaney, for those of you who don't know, is an absolute charlatan, Kool-Aid drinking, far right winger. He is an Ayn Rand type, a Milton Friedman type. You could probably even argue a Hayek and von Mises type. I mean, he is all in on deregulate like crazy, cut taxes for the rich. And they presented him as some sort of neutral, objective voice on the topic of economics when talking about Biden's proposal to tax billionaires. So what you see here is mainstream media, they're so far gone that they're hiring like people whose job it was to be literal liars and propagandists. Like, everybody knows what the job of the White House press secretary is. It's to spin on behalf of the president. It's to lie when necessary on behalf of the president. Your job is to give the line of the White House. Facts be damned, evidence be damned, proof be damned. It's go out there and put your spin on it. And CNN and MSNBC had a bidding war over it, and then CNN had the nerve. I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple years back, they released that smug-ass commercial where their whole thing is like, this is an apple, it is not an orange. CNN, facts first. Facts first. Facts first? And why are you hiring a paid liar? Her whole job is to lie. Her whole job is to protect the image of the president and the White House. And again, I'm going to shudder when I look at her contract because I guarantee you it's millions of dollars. And they said here, now I don't know if this part is true, but they said here, she's going to go to Peacock, which is the streaming service for NBC. If she goes there, that would be hilarious. Because just like with, CNN Plus and how that imploded in a day, I'm sure Peacock is in a very similar situation. The thing that these people don't understand is that the whole idea of going to a streaming platform or going to YouTube, going to new media is to escape the bullshit of old media. That was the whole idea. People wanted to go to YouTube to get an alternative voice to the mainstream narrative. People like streaming platforms when they offer some unique, interesting, entertaining stuff, like when Netflix has something that's, a great show that cost a shitload to produce, and it's not something that would have made the cut to make it in a movie because it would be too big of a risk, or to make it to TV because it'd be too big of a risk. They're just taking the trash that is normally on mainstream media, and they're now just making you pay for it via streaming. And that's why CNN Plus, we spoke about this the other day, they basically imploded in a day. They were offering 50% off on their first day because their sales to that point had been abysmal. It turns out people don't want to hear Anderson Cooper's parenting tips. People don't want to see Jake Tapper's book club. People don't want the standard garbage that they don't have to pay for to see on regular CNN to pay for it to see it on CNN Plus. They don't want that. They don't want that. They're going to pay her millions of dollars to go on Peacock where about 17 people will watch her. And the only devastating point about all this, the devastating part, is that we're never going to know how bad their ratings are because they can hide it. CNN Plus is already in talks to be bought out by Discovery because they're doing so poorly. They're like, all right, we just got to dump this already. And I'm sure Peacock's in a similar situation. How are you going to pay millions of dollars to somebody whose job was to lie and to be a propagandist to go on your streaming platform? Look, what a lot of people do want in media, and what everybody should want in media, is first and foremost to give you actual information, like to give you actual news and data and, yes, facts about the world that are unfolding in real time. So you need a trusted source to give that. And then beyond that, honesty and authenticity. That's what people want. And yeah, you'll have different ideological perspectives, and that's fine. Some people will disagree on various things, but the information has to come first, and then you need to be honest and authentic in how you present that and what your take on it is. And that is not at all what you get from these outlets. If you hire Mick Mulvaney at CBS and Jen Psaki at MSNBC, you're just going all in on conventional wisdom garbage and partisan hackery. And all you're doing is, let me give you the Republican Party position, the elite DC Republican Party position, and the elite DC Democratic Party position, and I got news for all of you. The elite DC Democratic and Republican Party positions are bogus. It's nonsense. It's trash. They're liars. They're playing defense for the establishment. That's what they do. So you're not getting a truthful perspective. You're not getting, real news and a real honest take. You're getting the spin. It's spin doctors left and right. Not a bad band. They get a bad rap, the Spin Doctors. I don't think they're that bad. That might be a hot take. That might be controversial. But for real, they have some bangers. So anyway, look, Jen Psaki probably getting millions of dollars, leaving the White House to go be a paid propagandist. She's leaving her job as the official White House liar to go lie for the White House at a media outlet. And that's, now everybody understands the dynamic of the mainstream media outlets. Fox News, their whole job is to lie for the Republican Party. MSNBC and CNN, their job is to lie for the Democratic Party. And then you have outlets like CBS where they try to lie on behalf of both parties, which is why they have Mulvaney, and I'm sure they have some Democratic hacks on there as well. I'm sorry, but, look, independent media, new media, we have our own problems. We have our own biases. And I'm honest and open about that. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Like, for example, this idea of audience capture, only telling the audience what you think they want to hear. That's a big problem in independent media and new media. But I would take independent and new media 10 out of 10 times over corporate media and traditional media. Because at least every now and then, you get real shit. And by the way, I'm not even just talking about commentators, of which I am one. I'm more of a pundit and a commentator than just a hard news guy. But if you look at the independent media outlets that do real investigative reporting, they're the best of the best. Like Jordan Chariton and Status Coup, like what used to be called the Daily Poster, but is now Lever News. There's a number of outlets, More Perfect Union. There's a number of outlets that they're doing the stuff that MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News should be doing. And unfortunately, they get no recognition, no love, no money. It's truly unfair. It's truly disgusting that you have the biggest hacks in the country, partisan, conventional wisdom spewing messes. They have all the money, all the corporate backing, and they shape the national dialogue. And then the real investigative reporters have next to no money and, unfortunately, not the biggest audiences in the world. And that's a travesty, man. It really is. It really is. And that needs to change. But there you have it. Another disgusting example of the cesspool that is DC and corporate media. And I don't know why anybody would have expected anything different at this late date. Maybe I'm naive, but I would have hoped to not see Mick Mulvaney be hired by CBS and Jen Psaki go to MSNBC. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.